What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at our game plan for the Detroit Lions heading into this Arizona Cardinals matchup for week number 3. So let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know, DoseOfDion, he put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. And as you guys can see from the board, plan, question mark, what is the plan? What is the plan to beat this Cardinals team? That's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. But before we get that started, it is Thursday, which means week 3 officially kicks off. We have the Jaguars and the Dolphins facing off tonight. I know, maybe not the most exciting matchup for some people, but who do you have? Let me know in the comment section below. I think I got to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars on this one, so let me know. Now, let's get into today's video, okay? Because, hey, look, we've done this for the first 2 weeks. We did like a 2-parter for week 2. I don't know if we're going to do that again, but it's always good to have a game plan, how you could potentially attack a team and how you could slow down a team. So I feel like the game plans haven't been too bad for the first 2 weeks. Like, I feel like they've been somewhat accurate. I've hit on a couple of things that the Detroit Lions would have to do to win and some things that they would have to stop that maybe they didn't stop or they did stop and it worked for a little bit and then it stopped working. So I think the game plan videos have been pretty darn accurate. I think this is going to be a very good one because I watched both of Arizona's games today versus the 49ers and the Washington football team. So I feel like I'm really prepared and I'm ready for this video, and we're going to be putting both sides into one, so Lions offense and Lions defense. So we're going to first start off with that Lions offense. Now let me just say this. Just because you have a plan doesn't mean it's going to be easy to execute. The Lions may have a plan here. I may look like I have a plan here, but it's not going to be easy. The Lions are facing an Arizona Cardinals team that has not lost yet this season. They played a team that was in a Super Bowl last season, the 49ers, and Washington, who's probably not the best team in the league, but still they did win week 1. So you're facing a team that's 2-0. They're feeling good about themselves. They're flying high. They come up right. They brought in some talent this offseason, and it's looked really good. You got a young quarterback, a newer coach in there, so the excitement is buzzing. And you're facing that team that hasn't lost this year, and you have the Detroit Lions who've lost both of their games, who it seems like all the mojo is just completely flat. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's any kind of energy here. And the Detroit Lions are trying to pick it up because they can't fall to 0-3. Like, you can't fall to 0-3. Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn both know that. So they need to win this weekend, right? They need to find a way to beat the Arizona Cardinals, and it's not going to be easy. Not at all. This is a very talented team on both sides of the football. So it's going to be difficult, but I did, again, watch through, and I think I found some things that maybe the Lions could exploit, and again, some things that they need to watch for and stop. Otherwise, they will be beat. So starting off with the Lions offense, how are the Lions going to score on Arizona? Now, not just score. I mean score consistently. I mean consistently play good offense. Because in the first 2 games of the season, we haven't seen that. Now look, playing for 4 quarters is an expression that's always used. It usually doesn't happen. But we haven't played for 3 quarters this season. All right, against Chicago, 2nd and 3rd quarter were good. 1st quarter slow, 4th quarter slow. That's not good enough. Against Green Bay, 1st quarter great. 2nd, 3rd quarter, bad. 4th quarter, you score, but the game was already over. You have to find a little bit more consistency there. And a lot of it, really the story, especially from the Packers game, is beating yourself. That game should have been much more competitive. There's no reason that game wasn't more competitive. But the reason it wasn't more competitive, and it should have been, is because the Lions beat themselves. The Lions made so many mental errors that instead of going in a half, at least up by 4 or maybe even 1, they come out of half down by 10. And you're thinking to yourself, how does this happen when there's only a minute before halftime? Well, let's run through it real quick. Let's do a quick little recap. Lions get a flag, which gives the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense an opportunity to score when usually they won it because the time would have basically been ran out. So they go score a touchdown. They're up 3. Then coming out of half, they have a 75-yard touchdown run. Now all of a sudden you're down by 10. So when the offense punted the ball away, they were thinking, okay, we're up by 4. All of a sudden, they get the ball back in the second half down 10. Then you throw a pick 6 where Matthew Stafford didn't make a great decision, but you're also at your 5-yard line because of another flag by Jamal Agnew, which pushes you way back against your own goal line. Now you're down by 17, the game's over. Just like that, the game's over. So the Lions offense, who looked so great, and it was like, wow, this can be a great offense, it looks so balanced, and we saw that in glimpses in week 2, week 1 as well. All of a sudden, you lose that game, and your offense just goes completely silent. It's like, what happened? Well, that's what happened. You beat yourselves. Because this offense has already shown they can be great. They just can't beat themselves. And that's probably the one biggest key. I mean, that is the key to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Don't beat yourself first, okay? Before you beat Arizona, you can't beat yourself. So that's the biggest thing going into this game. But specifically focusing on the Cardinals here, what did the Cardinals do defensively? Well, Matt Patricia touched on it this morning, saying they do some similar things defensively, schematically, and in their techniques and how they work on things. And I can see what he's saying there. I don't think it's exactly the same, but there are some similarities on what they do do defensively, just kind of their play style, right? When they blitz, the timely blitzes, bringing a lot of 4-man rushes. Also, you're going to see them drop in a zone on 3rd and short, things like that. You're going to see them play a lot of man-to-man. So I can see what he's saying in terms of their similarities and techniques. And also, Matt Patricia maybe believes this could be an advantage for the Lions heading into this game because it could help offense players. Hey, we'll take any advantage we can get heading into this game. So hopefully it is. I'm going to get into what their biggest weakness is, but we know they have some big names in the back end, and in the front end, now they have Devon Kennard over there. They have some names over there. They drafted Isaiah Simmons, who hasn't been great up to this point. We'll get into all that. So we'll get into that stuff in a second. But let's focus on the keys in this game. Now, if you simply look at a lot of the basic stats, they will tell you that, hey, this Arizona Cardinals defense is really, really good. And they're really good at some things, but they're also really bad at other things. And those really things that they're really bad at is where we need to exploit. Now, it's only 2 games, so it's not a huge sample size for anybody. But when we focus on what looks good for this defense statistically, points allowed. Their second points allowed, which is obviously very good, okay? You only gave up 20 points to the San Francisco 49ers, gave up less than 20 points to Washington. So your defense has been pretty good. Again, you haven't played against the most explosive offenses, so that's something there. But points allowed per game, it's looked pretty good. Also, completion percentage allowed, 57.6. That's really good. That's second in the league. Guess who that's tied with? Well, our Detroit Lions. I know, you're probably like, really? Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. I'm very serious with that one. Also, they're 8th best in the league in passing yards. So there's certain things you can look at and say, okay, this defense can be really good. It's going to be really difficult for the Lions. But then there's some other stats that you look at and you're like, okay, well, maybe it's not that great, right? Is it really that great? For example, allowing 5 yards per attempt rushing. That's 27th in the NFL right now. Allowing a 95.6 pass rating, which is below the league average. 19 missed tackles, 0 interceptions, 7.3 yards per attempt. So there's some other stats out there that's like, okay, maybe this defense isn't that great. Now, a couple of little key factors that I found during the thing. First off, missed tackles. They do have 19 missed tackles, which is up there with the Detroit Lions. That's something to keep an eye on because maybe the Lions could break some plays off of some things. But they're a very aggressive defense. They're a very tough defense that will not be afraid to blitz you. They're not going to be afraid to get in your face. They will miss tackles, however, but they're just an aggressive defense in general. They do have some strengths, and when you look at the stats, you can see that they've definitely improved because last year defensively, they were awful. They were awful defensively last year. They've definitely improved. But where can the Lions exploit this defense? Where are the Lions going to beat this defense? Well, I would say their biggest weakness is probably the back end. The back end. I know it sounds crazy because you're probably thinking of some of the names back there. You're like, it can't be that bad. You got Patrick Peterson. You got Drake Kirkpatrick. You got Byron Murphy. Like, is it really that bad? Well, that's been their biggest weakness so far in the season. So, yeah, I would say that's definitely their weakness right now. Patrick Peterson has been great. Drake Kirkpatrick looks like he's hit some sort of a wall. Those guys just haven't been great. Byron Murphy's actually been pretty solid. But in the back end is where the Lions need to attack. The Lions can win one-on-ones in this game. Lions offense is going to have the most weapons that they have faced so far. I mean, this is going to be the toughest matchup for this secondary so far. So even some Cardinals people realize that, okay, maybe it's just a little bit too early. We got to see how they hold up against some of their upcoming matchups, and especially this Detroit Lions matchup, as the Lions are going to be rolling in with first-time Kenny Golladay, which is going to be a huge difference. We did a video earlier this week talking about what's wrong with the Lions offense. When we talked about how big of a difference it was, Matthew Stafford's taking way less shots down the field. He's not as aggressive as a quarterback, and they're just not making as many grabs. They have a lot more drops. Having a guy like Kenny Golladay is going to open this offense up completely. Also, when you throw out Marvin Jones, TJ Hockenson, tight ends who they have really struggled against, another coverage problem here, right? Last year, they were 5th worst in the league against tight ends. So what do? They go out and draft Isaiah Simmons. Well, Isaiah Simmons has only played in 25 snaps in 2 games. Isaiah Simmons has not been very good. That has not been very good so far this season. He's actually been, I believe, the worst graded rookie according to PFF up to this point. And that's kind of crazy to think. Like, what? Isaiah Simmons? For real? Yeah, it is difficult for Isaiah Simmons. It's a lot because he played a lot of different positions in college. So he's kind of asked to, figure out what he's going to do defensively. But they haven't had him out there all the time. So that's another place where the Lions must look to attack. We remember TJ Hockenson last year. His huge game was against Arizona in week 1. That's someone to keep an eye on. Also, covering running backs. When Isaiah Simmons is out there, where he lacks is man-to-man defense because he'll get caught watching the quarterback and he'll take his eyes off the player he's against. This is another game where DeAndre Swift could have a big showing because DeAndre Swift last week against Green Bay made a lot of big plays out of the backfield. But I think with Kenny Golladay, he can help stretch the field and open things up. The Lions must take some shots. They have not taken that many shots this year. They need to take a lot of shots. And I think this is the game where the Lions can win one-on-ones. But what's great about that is if the Lions take shots, they can also then open up the running game because the Cardinals, who I said are giving up 5 yards per carry on the ground, is not very good. The Lions could also have the opportunity to open up the ground game. This is the game where if you're a Matthew Stafford fan, which I'm sure a lot of us are, as a Matthew Stafford fan, this is the game to keep a look at because Matthew Stafford's been good, but he's also made a few little mistakes here. He's actually been great at times, but he's made a few mistakes that have really hurt, and they've hurt this team. However, this is that game where I think we can see Matthew Stafford look like last year's Matthew Stafford. This could be that big game for Matthew Stafford because the Cardinals haven't faced a guy like this. The Cardinals haven't faced the weapons like this. The Cardinals secondary is in question. Kenny Golladay returning is going to be Matthew Stafford's not going to be afraid to take some shots. And once they do back that defense up, you can expect the run game to start getting going. But this is the game that you have to keep an eye on Matthew Stafford. This is where Matthew Stafford, I think, could have his best game so far this year. I would not be surprised if Matthew Stafford puts up some big numbers. Over 300 passing yards would not shock me against the Cardinals. And they're probably going to need it because the Cardinals offense is really, really good. Some players to watch. For the Lions, Matthew Stafford, as I mentioned. I don't even think I said that in the first 2 weeks. This is the week to watch Matthew Stafford. He needs a big game, and I think you're going to have it here against Arizona. TJ Hockenson again, and DeAndre Swift. Those are the players offensively I would say keep an eye out for. And of course, Kenny Golladay if he's back. And for the Cardinals defense, players to keep an eye out for. Jordan Phillips. This man can get some push on that defensive line. They can get some pressure. They have Devon Kennard out there. They have Jordan Phillips. They have some good linebackers, all right? You have to keep an eye on this linebacker group. They can get to the quarterback. Also, Passoni, I think his name is Passoni. He's number 96. He also can get back there and push some pressure as well. So if the Lions' offensive line can hold up, which for the most part it's looked good, especially, at certain positions. Center's been good. Right guard's been good. Jonah's been great. Left tackle, Taylor Decker's been good. It's been that left guard spot where we've been a little shaky because O'Day was out there, but now Dahl is on IR, so it may be O'Day again. But if we can get a guy like Big V back into the starting lineup, that would be huge. So keep an eye on Big V, who is also practicing. So I would say keep an eye on those players. If the Lions can give Matthew Stafford time in this game, where the Cardinals are going to try to get to him, but Matthew Stafford historically has been very good against the blitz. Last season, he was incredible against the blitz. Matthew Stafford can be comfortable in this offense early. Expect Matthew Stafford to have a huge game. He is the guy to keep an eye on. That is where this offense is going to click tomorrow. And keyword, don't beat yourselves. Don't make dumb mistakes. They're going to happen. You're going to have penalties here and there. Don't let it keep up with you, though. Be consistent. Forget about the last play. Move on. Go make the next play, okay? There's a lot of plays in an NFL game. You got to forget about one bad mistake that you may make, okay? So Lions need to make sure they bounce back, and it's going to be all about number 9, I think, in this game. Now, how about the Lions' defense? What are the Lions going to do defensively against this Cardinals offense that features Kyler Murray, who looks like he could be an MVP candidate. Larry Fitzgerald, he's okay. DeAndre Hopkins, he's all right as well. You got Andy Isabella out there. You got some solid tight end. How are the Lions going to stop Kenyon Drake in this entire offense? Well, they're probably not. Okay, the Lions are going to give up points. We've already seen through 2 weeks the Lions are going to give up points. All right, I hate to break it to you. They're going to score points on the Detroit Lions. The question is, how many points are they going to score in the Lions? And what is the Lions' game plan got to be heading into this game? Now, offensively, Arizona has been very difficult. And a lot of their rushing yards have honestly came from Kyler Murray. And that's the first thing that we need to keep an eye on. Kyler Murray is the focus. He is the focus. He makes this offense go. Because if the quarterback can't get it to the receivers, weapons don't matter. Kyler Murray's the focus, first and foremost. Why? Because Kyler Murray's been great through 2 games. He's been really good through 2 games, especially when it comes to rushing. Kyler Murray, yards per carry, 7.5 yards per carry, 158 rushing yards, 3 rushes for over 20 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Yeah, he's been okay on the ground. Kyler Murray's the first focus, and he's been very more aggressive, way more aggressive, and Kingsbury does a great job of keeping him protected while also letting him run loose. So read options is first. It's like we're going back to college here. Like Corey Unley said, it's like Texas Tech. You have to stop the read option first, okay? That's what it really does come down to, and you have to contain Kyler Murray in general because he makes everything happen. Okay, Kyler Murray will get phased. Kyler Murray is not the most accurate quarterback. He's not the best quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but not the best quarterback. So how do you stop this guy? Well, he wants to use his feet. Of course he wants to use his feet. But he also wants to throw the football. And they really do start with a lot of quick passes. They have a pretty low yards per attempt, and it really does start with a lot of short passes, a lot of out routes, slant routes, zig routes, whatever it may be, short routes, screens. A lot of wide receiver screens. Keep an eye on that, especially Larry Fitzgerald. You'll see end arounds. A lot of short things to kind of get the game going. Then they're going to try to break you loose with a couple of deep shots because Kyler Murray will take them, especially if he gets out of the pocket. If he can get out of the pocket, stop, and throw it, he'll take a shot. So we got to make sure we're not getting beat deep, okay? So they're going to start with them short stops, short passes, trying to get us to move up, trying to get us to kind of push up, and then he's going to look to go over top with guys like Christian Kirk, who was huge last game against the Washington football team. But it's all about stopping Kyler Murray because what I've noticed from Kyler Murray is that if you get him under pressure, and not just pressure in general, I mean pressure in his face. If you could bring the blitz from the inside and get in his face and also contain to the point where he can't get outside, he's going to sail. The ball will sail on Kyler Murray. He'll make bad decisions. He threw a pick last week. He will make bad decisions. The problem is if you're going to blitz the inside, you can't let him get it outside because he'll see that and he'll get out. That's the problem. That is the big problem here. Also, if he does get outside, then you can bring one of those spies that kind of sit. If they can get in his face, that's where you're going to force him to make some bad decisions. It's really about containing Kyler Murray. I mean, that is the key to stopping this offense or slowing it down, is contain Murray. Because if you can do that, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna have a shot to beat this team. You're gonna have an opportunity to beat this team and slow down this offense. But if you're letting him run wild and put up the numbers that he has, now you're gonna be in trouble. And the Lions play a lot of man-to-man, so it's gonna be difficult. So it's gonna be really about those linebackers. That D-line and linebackers must be great. Setting the edge. Defensive ends. This is all on you guys. Trey Flowers, Deshaun Hand, Nick Williams. Y'all need to be good today. Y'all in this game. Julian Okwara is a guy that I think you should keep an eye on. Player to watch. Julian Okwara wasn't active last week. I think he will be this week, and I think he's going to be big. He has that great athleticism to keep Kyler Murray contained on the edge. Look out for Julian Okwara. He just needs to make sure that he's better with his contain, and look out for those linebackers like Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins is another guy. If they can contain Kyler Murray and not let him use his legs to get downfield and not open things up, this Lions defense is going to have an opportunity. And it's way, way easier said than done heading into this one. But to me, that's really what it all is about. Because they're going to start off with short routes. They're going to try to dink and dunk you. But he will take shots deep. It's really about, first off, containing Murray. Because if you can slow down Murray and you can set the edge, which is all about setting the edge against this Arizona Cardinals team, you're going to be okay. You're going to have an opportunity to go win this football game. And if you can get pressure in his face, he will make mistakes. Lions have 0 interceptions up to this point. That must change. Lions have lost the turnover battle both of the first 2 weeks. That must change, especially facing a team like Arizona. Get some turnovers by getting in his face, make him make some bad decisions, and you'll get an interception in this game. Lions have blitzed 22% of the time this year. I can see that go up again, especially if Trufant can play. Hopefully he can. That'd be great, knowing that we're going against this great receiving crew. I mean, it's super important to have a guy like Trufant on the field. But either way, if the Lions are going to be pressure, which they're going to try to mix it in, maybe not a ton, but they're going to try, you must get in his face. You must get in his face and contain. It's all about containing this game. You make it street ball, like Matt Patricia said, now all of a sudden everything's out the window, and he's just so athletic, he's going to make some crazy plays. So for the Lions in this game, it's simple. Matthew Stafford, keep an eye on him. Stafford is going to have a big game. Stafford's going to have his best game so far this year. I'm saying it right now. And defensively, if you can slow down Murray by containing him, make sure he doesn't break contain, you're going to have an opportunity. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, guys. This is one of the most talented teams in the league on paper, and we've seen that so far this season, but they are beatable. Just because they're 2-0 does not mean they're not beatable. I've watched them. They have flaws. This team is beatable. And the Lions need to go out there and take this one because if they don't, they're going to be in some big trouble. They need to go out there, take this game. Don't beat yourself. You can be the better team if you don't beat yourselves. We've seen that. The Lions should have been in there with the Packers game. The Lions could have won that Packers game. The Lions were better than Chicago. They beat themselves. Don't do that. You can beat this team. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like a weather person. I don't know why I'm holding this either. But look at all these members. Are you kidding me? Hall of Fame, All-Pro, patrons. Look how many All-Pro members. I can't even see the bottom, dog. What? If you guys want to be a part of this, all you got to do is click the join button. It's on the homepage of my YouTube channel. But this is absolutely nuts. Shout out to you guys. This is crazy. I had to bring out my cool shirt for this one, okay? Because y'all are legends. I had to bring out the legends. See what I'm doing?